Hey everybody, welcome to week 9. This is an expansion of what we learned so far. This week in office hours, in fact, since I was out last week, we're going to go over managing photos and storage, and then we'll go into week 9, staying safe online and security. So we have already talked about passwords and password management, so a lot of this is just going to be an expansion of this module moving forward. So let me go through the module, and then we'll talk about this. We do have a discussion, and as always, it'd be great if you contributed to this. The discussion question is, let's talk about how you can apply safety and security online to your life. Which tips do you follow? What is one tip you might want to improve on? Or have you experienced any suspicious email, phone calls, or pop-ups? How did you handle it? I can tell you for me, and I will be putting this in the discussion, I get a lot of email from different work or school accounts that will tell me that there's phishing attempts, meaning people are putting in emails and they want you to click a link, and then that is in order to get into your accounts and get information from you that you don't want them to have. So what I do is I make sure when I see a suspicious email, the main thing I do is I check who the sender is, and that always tells me, like, if something I don't recognize, I just delete it, or if I'm on my phone, I delete and report it as a false email. And that's something that you'll see a lot. So if you're not sure, always check who the sender is. Go ahead and click on their email information and see what the email is. And if it's not a real email, it'll be like some weird thing. If you don't recognize it, do not click on anything and delete it immediately. So that's the gist of it. It's very important to do that. So I have a video here. What are passkeys? We did go over that. We're going to keep going over that through the semester and how they work. I use them for everything. In fact, last week while I was traveling on my other computer, I had all the same passkeys because I use Google, I use iCloud, and it shares them between computers. So I was able to, before I left on my trip, in fact, I checked the applications that I use that make sure I can get in. So I can get into Saddleback, I could get into different programs that I use, and it all worked great. So then I was good to go. So it was really helpful that way. I didn't need to bring like a little note card with my passwords on it, which would have been bad. I don't want to do that. So that's a little video. Some tips about using strong passwords, using capital letters, symbols, and numbers. That's usually what's required. And so you don't usually want to put your birthday in there, but there's some example. There's one there, my dog Spot, exclamation, 2024 period. So things like that. A lot of them now are between 8 and 12 characters, so they're getting pretty long and very hard to remember, in my opinion. So that's why we have these password managers. If you have a PC, some people use Bitwarden. It's a popular one. Phishing scams, you can see it's spelled with a PH. Those are emails that are trying to get you to click something so that people can steal your information, perhaps your birthday, social security number. So there's red flags. Mine is make sure that, first of all, you never want to give your social security number online. If you do, sometimes you can call whoever's asking for it, like maybe if it's a doctor or something, and ask them if you could give it on the phone to somebody if you know who that person is. So try not to give that information over the computer. Now, I have that problem as well because people ask me for W-9s and your social security number goes in there. So and I just don't like doing that. So it's sometimes like it's something that's hard to get out of doing. But if it's an email that is from just over email and it's not like a secure site, like an HR site, I wouldn't do it. Keeping your devices updated is really important. When it asks you to update, it usually means it's a security update. So I update when it tells me to, like everything, my iPad, my phone, and my computers. It's a pain, and it seems like it's every week now, but that's what it is taking to stay safe. Some popular scams, asking for money, fake tech support calls. Now with AI, we can have fake calls from people, so you should have an emergency word for your family members so that if somebody's trying to fake you out, you can ask them, hey, what's our word? And they should have that information. So if it's a fake person or a fake avatar, they won't know your secret word. Or ask a question that the fake person or voice or avatar wouldn't be able to answer. If you have big problems, there are antivirus softwares and firewalls, which I no longer use, to be honest. On my Mac, I seem to be fine without those, but Norton is one of those, and McAfee is another one. Let's see, home internet. On my home internet, I do have a password also on my. I have my own equipment here, so we have Linksys. So in Linksys, we have passwords to open that up and access the internet stuff. And be careful on social media, of course. I have my Facebook set for my friends only can see it, which I highly, highly recommend. And I have my Facebook set on dual authentication. So usually if somebody's trying to break in my Facebook, it's going to send a text to my phone asking for a code. So I know they're breaking in, and of course I'm not going to give the code, and I report it to Facebook. That's kept me safe the whole time. So I would highly recommend dual authentication. Cryptocurrency, I can be honest, is not something that I'm into. I don't understand it well enough to trust it, but if you are, there's a video on staying safe in crypto, but there's a lot of scams where people have lost a lot of money, so I just kind of stay out of that myself, but you might know more than I do on that. And then staying safe online. So before you click on things, check the email sender, make sure it's people that you know. So backup, I always make sure I use iCloud and Google, so I back up my stuff. If it asks me to, it automatically does it anyways. Creating strong passwords, which most apps make you do that anyways. If you're on a public Wi-Fi connection, like maybe you're in a hotel or something, you might not want to be doing like banking and stuff on there. You might want to wait till you get home, till you have your own equipment, because you're using somebody else's internet. So you got to be careful with that. So there's some important tips there. And then there's a link here to the Center for Cyber Safety and Education that you can go to discuss staying safe online. So again, think before you click. That's kind of the main one, this first one here. You can read through that. And I believe that is this section. So we will be having office hours on about modules 7 and 8. We'll probably spend more time on 8 and 9, about sharing photos and how we all do that. So that'll be this Wednesday at 3. And I'll see you on Wednesday. In the meantime, if you have any other questions, feel free to email me at any time. Thanks.